How to get rid of credit card debt fast. Debt-free plan to become debt-free with every bill that arrives. The feeling is the same. A weight on their chest, as if their money was already earmarked. The truth is that credit card debts are like an infinite treadmill. You run, but you don't get anywhere. And meanwhile, the interest grows faster than any effort you make to save money. But here's the turning point that almost no one talks about. No matter the size of their debt, there is a way to get rid of it faster than they imagine. Imagine this. How would it be to open their banking app and see that number at zero? How would it be to use their card without feeling guilty, knowing they are in control? This is not a distant dream. It is a real and totally achievable goal when they understand the right strategies. Today they will discover how to pay off their credit card debts smartly, practically, and without falling for banking tricks or miraculous promises. We will talk about proven methods, discipline applied to real life, and simple adjustments that change their financial game. If they are tired of working hard and seeing their money slip away into creditors' pockets, this is the moment to turn the key. There is no beating around the bush here, no magic formula, and no nonsense. It's about clarity, decision, and action. And if they stay until the end, they will come out with a plan ready to accelerate their way out of debt and regain their financial peace. A credit card is like fire. It can illuminate or burn. The first step to pay off their debt quickly is to stop feeding the flames. While they keep swiping the card as if nothing has changed, the debt only grows. So the rule is clear: freeze the card. Put it away in a drawer, delete it from the app, temporarily block it if necessary. The goal here is to stop the bleeding before starting the treatment. But beware. Freezing doesn't mean living tight or feeling embarrassed at the cash register. It means choosing to pay only with debit or cash because that brings an immediate awareness of where their money is going. Suddenly, that $5 coffee stops being an automatic habit and becomes a conscious choice. This simple adjustment is powerful because it takes away the feeling of endless money that the card creates and gives back control to them. Many people wonder, but how will I deal with emergencies without a card? The answer is straightforward. A financial emergency is solved with an emergency fund, not with debt. And if they don't have that fund yet, we will build it together in the process. For now, the priority is to cut off the source that keeps dragging them down. When they understand that each new expense on the card is like throwing gasoline into the fire of interest, it becomes clear that freezing the card is not a punishment, it's liberation. It's like pulling the handbrake before going down a brakeless slope. Only after that can they truly start accelerating towards financial freedom. Now that the card is out of the picture, it's time to see reality without a filter. They need a complete X-ray of their debt. Take each invoice, add up the total amount owed, and also note the interest rate of each card. Don't hide anything from themselves because what they don't measure, they can't change. This moment may be uncomfortable, but it's liberating. Knowing exactly the size of their debt is like turning on the lights in a dark room. Suddenly, the monster that seemed huge can be faced with strategy. Most people shy away from this step because they fear the final number. But facing it head-on is what separates those who remain trapped from those who start to win. Make notes on a spreadsheet or even on a simple piece of paper. The important thing is to list each debt, with its value, interest, and minimum payment. This inventory will become their secret weapon to decide where to start. Remember, organization doesn't pay off the debt by itself but opens the way for you to choose the best strategies. It is here that clarity is born. Instead of feeling like they are drowning in random numbers, they start to see the way out. And when the plan becomes visible, motivation increases. Because now they are not just in debt. They are paving the way to pay it off. With a map of their debts in hand, it's time to choose the strategy that will guide their way out. There are two classic methods, and both work. The secret is to choose the one that suits you best. The first one is the Avalanche Method. Here they tackle the debt with the highest interest rate first. Why? Because it's the one that sucks up most of their money month after month. It's pure math. Cutting the most expensive debt drastically reduces how much you pay in interest in the long run. This method is perfect for those who want faster financial results and are not shaken by the patience required in the process. The second one is the Snowball Method. In this one, they start by paying off the smallest debt regardless of the interest. The focus is psychological. You pay quickly, feel the immediate victory, and gain confidence to tackle the next ones. This method works because it turns discipline into motivation, creating a positive snowball that grows with each achievement. There's no wrong choice. What exists is what keeps you moving. If you are more rational and can wait for larger numbers, go for Avalanche. If you need emotional fuel and quick rewards, go for Snowball. What cannot happen is to stand still trying to find the right one and not take action. The key is simple. Focus all their extra energy on one debt at a time, while maintaining minimum payments on the others. This is focus. It's direction. It's putting their strength where it really matters. Now comes the practical part that turns a plan into speed, freeing up money in their budget. The truth is that they already have hidden resources, they just need to find them and redirect them. Every dollar that is left over today and goes towards immediate consumption can be converted into ammunition against debt. Start by hunting down the obvious leaks. Subscriptions they no longer use, that gym membership turned monthly donation, the duplicated streaming service because they forgot to cancel. These are small expenses, but together they drain a good chunk of their wallet. Canceling is not losing comfort, it's reclaiming freedom. Then look at the automatic habits. Daily $5 coffee, delivery for convenience, shopping out of boredom. None of these expenses is a villain on its own, but added up throughout the month, they can amount to a whole installment of their debt. Swapping the store-bought coffee for home-brewed coffee won't change their life on its own, but combining several small choices creates a wave of savings. And here is the central point. Every reclaimed amount needs an immediate destination. Don't leave the money free in the bank, because it will evaporate into new expenses. Direct everything towards the chosen debt payment. If there's an extra $50 left, send it over there. If there's $200 left, do the same. The act of redirecting the money is what speeds up the repayment. This discipline is like a resistance workout. At first, it may seem heavy, but soon it becomes natural. They start to see not only how much they owe, but also how much they have already managed to achieve. Cutting expenses creates space, but truly speeding up requires bringing more money into the game. The logic is simple. The more they increase their income, the more fuel they have to attack the debt. And the good news is that today there are several ways to generate extra cash without needing to change careers. Think of skills they already have and that others would pay to use. It could be video editing, translation, design, consulting, even administrative tasks that can be done online. Freelancing platforms like Upwork or Fiverr are an immediate entry point. If they prefer something more practical, food delivery, app-based rides, or temporary jobs can become a direct source of cash. Another way is to sell what they no longer use. Clothes, electronics, furniture. All that unused stuff is dead money taking up space. Put it up for sale on local marketplaces and turn it into capital to reduce their debt. The key point is to see each extra dollar as a strategic weapon. It's not about improving their lifestyle now. It's about accelerating debt repayment. Imagine that every extra hour worked or every item sold is a piece of the chain being broken. They are literally buying back their financial freedom. Increasing income may seem tiring, but it's temporary. The intensity lasts until they eliminate the debt. Then, that same money that today goes to creditors can turn into savings, investments, and life goals. Negotiating with creditors may seem intimidating, but it's one of the most powerful tools to speed up their way out of debt. Banks and credit card companies prefer to receive something rather than run the risk of receiving nothing. This means they have more room to negotiate than they think. The first step is to call the provider and ask for a reduction in the interest rate. Speak objectively. They are a customer who wants to pay off the debt but needs fairer conditions to do so. Often, just this call results in a lower rate or different payment plans. Another option is to request a balance transfer to a card with lower or even zero interest for a promotional period. But be warned, this strategy only works if they commit to not using the new card for new expenses. The focus is to eliminate the old balance, not to create a new problem. In some cases, negotiating a lump sum agreement can bring significant discounts. If they have already managed to save a considerable amount, use that as an argument to pay off part of the debt at once. The key here is to understand that creditors are not enemies. They are companies interested in recovering money. And when they show willingness to pay, they are more open to being flexible. Every percentage point less in interest is time and money that comes back to them. And added to the strategies they have already started to apply, this reduction creates a real acceleration effect in the repayment process. Without a clear budget, paying off debts becomes trial and error. They need a system that shows where every dollar is going and ensures that their priority continues to be debt repayment. The budget is the map that keeps them on the right track even when life tries to divert their attention. The first step is to separate their expenses into 3 blocks: needs, wants, and debt. Needs are basic bills like housing, transportation, and food. Wants are extras, that dinner out, a show, the new gadget. Debt is the payment they are directing to get out of the hole. The rule here is simple: wants only come after debt is under control. Powerful technique is to use the adapted 50/30/20 method. Traditionally, 50% goes to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to financial goals. In their case, the 20% becomes debt, and if possible, this number needs to be even higher. Every additional dollar placed here shortens the time of their journey. To keep the budget alive, use practical tools. It can be a personal finance app or even a simple spreadsheet. The important thing is to record everything and review weekly. Don't wait to find out at the end of the month that you spent more than you should have. Constant review keeps you aware and in control. This budget is not a prison. It's planned freedom. Because instead of guessing where the money went, you consciously decide where it goes. And this clarity is what sustains your discipline until the debt disappears. Many people think they should only create an emergency fund after paying off all debts, but this is a dangerous trap. Without a minimum reserve, any unexpected event throws you back onto the credit card and restarts the cycle. Therefore, even during the repayment process, it is essential to build a safety net. The initial goal is not to accumulate thousands of dollars, but to set up a quick cushion, something between $500 and $1,000. This amount already covers common emergencies such as fixing the car, paying for an unexpected doctor's visit, or dealing with a surprise bill. It's enough to prevent the credit card from becoming your first option again. How to do this without disrupting debt repayment? Adjust the strategy so that a small part of your energy goes into this reserve, while the bulk continues towards repayment. Think of it as installing an airbag in the car. It doesn't make you arrive faster, but ensures that you don't veer off course at the first obstacle. Once the debt is under control, this fund can grow to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses. But at this initial stage, the focus is straightforward: to have accessible money for real emergencies, not for luxuries. With this protection in place, your debt repayment journey gains protection. You no longer need to fear that an unexpected event will destroy your progress because you now have a financial shield to absorb the impact. Eliminating debt is not just a matter of numbers, it is also a matter of mindset. If they don't change the way they relate to money, the risk of falling back into the same cycle is huge. That's why this step is about reprogramming their financial habits and creating a new identity. One of someone who controls money, not the other way around. It all starts with awareness. Ask yourself before each expense: does this bring me closer or further away from financial freedom? This simple pause already cuts off a large part of impulse purchases. The credit card was designed to facilitate instant decisions. Financial discipline comes from slowing down before spending. Another point is to redefine their rewards. For years, Many of us learned to celebrate achievements with consumption. Victory was buying something new. But the true reward now is seeing their debt shrink, feeling the weight lifted off their shoulders, and seeing their income becoming theirs again. Turn financial progress into a reason to celebrate. Also, create tracking rituals. Set aside a day of the week to review their budget, look at their debt spreadsheet, and update their progress. This habit strengthens their motivation because every time they see the number decrease, they gain energy to keep going. The mindset shift is the key to ensuring that this will be the last time they face a mountain of debt. It's like changing the software of their brain. The old version spent without thinking, the new version thinks before each move. Maintaining motivation is what sets apart those who start from those who truly finish the journey. In the beginning, enthusiasm is high. They freeze the card, make the plan, even feel like they are in control. But as the months go by and the debt has not disappeared yet, energy can wane. This is where many give up. Therefore, they need practical strategies to keep the fire burning. First, celebrate visible milestones. When they pay off the first debt, mark that day. When they reach 25% of the total balance paid, have a simple celebration. It's not about spending money, it's about recognizing progress. The brain operates on rewards, and they need to feed that cycle of victory to stay on track. Second, visualize the finish line. Put on a board or on the phone the estimated date to become debt-free. Seeing this deadline as a real destination gives the feeling that the effort has an end. It's not eternal. This forecast is their daily reminder that there is life after payment. Another powerful point is to create a support network. Share their goal with someone trustworthy or even in online groups of people who are on the same path. Shared responsibility increases discipline, and emotional support prevents setbacks. Lastly, turn the payoff into a game. See each extra payment as points earned, each redirected dollar as progress on the scoreboard. When the process becomes a challenge instead of a punishment, motivation is renewed. This is how they get through the toughest months. With clarity, celebration, and support. It's not just about paying off, but about staying mentally engaged until the last penny. Paying off their debts is just the beginning. The true transformation happens when they use this victory as a springboard to build wealth. Think about it. Every dollar that used to go to interest can now work in their favor. What was once drained by creditors becomes capital for their financial freedom. The first step is to redirect the amount they use to pay off debts to create a solid foundation. Expand their emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses. This reserve ensures they will never need to resort to a credit card in unexpected situations. Then, get into the game of investments. Start simple with retirement accounts like 401k or IRA, if they are in the United States. Take advantage of matching programs offered by employers, because it's free money put directly into their future. Even small contributions grow exponentially when well invested. At the same time, also look for accessible investments, such as ETFs or index funds. They offer diversification, low cost, and track the market's growth over time. Here, patience is their greatest ally. The sooner they start, the greater the effect of compound interest. This transition is powerful because it marks a mindset shift. They are no longer putting out fires, they are building wealth. The discipline that served to pay off debts now turns into fuel to accumulate wealth. And best of all, they have already proven they can do it. If they had focus and consistency to overcome credit card interest, they are more than prepared to master investments and multiply their money. Being debt-free opens up room to dream bigger, but without clear goals, it's easy to fall into the trap of spending the newly liberated money aimlessly. This is where they need to turn this new freedom into direction. Long-term financial goals are the GPS that keeps their progress on a straight line towards a life of abundance. Start by defining what truly matters to you. Do you want to buy a house? Start a business? Achieve financial independence and retire early? Each goal needs to be on paper, with an approximate value and a defined deadline. It's not enough to say, I want to save money. They need to know exactly what for and by when. Then, break down these goals into smaller steps. If the goal is to save $60,000 for a house down payment in 5 years, that means $12,000 per year or $1,000 per month. When you turn a big dream into measurable installments, it ceases to be abstract and becomes achievable. Also create a hierarchy of goals. Some are urgent, like increasing their emergency fund or starting to invest for retirement. Others can wait, like the dream trip or the new car. Prioritizing ensures that their money goes first to what brings security and growth. This phase is not just about numbers, it's about vision. It's consciously deciding the lifestyle they want to build and using money as a tool, not a problem. When they have clear goals, every day-to-day financial choice connects to a larger purpose. The last piece of this puzzle is long-term discipline. Because achieving financial freedom is amazing, but maintaining it is what truly transforms their life. The temptation to revert to old habits will always exist. The credit card will keep offering higher limits, ads will insist that they need the latest release, and social pressure won't disappear. This is where the shielding comes in. First, keep the budget alive. Don't treat it as temporary. The budget is the tool that keeps them in control, no matter how comfortable their situation becomes. Adjust, refine, but never abandon. Second, keep reviewing their goals. Life changes, and so do their priorities. Periodically reviewing ensures that their money is aligned with what matters now, not with what mattered 5 years ago. Third, cultivate discipline as a lifestyle, not as temporary effort. This means creating automatic habits. Automatic contributions to investments, scheduled payments, direct transfers to savings. When the system does the work for them, the chance of sliding decreases. And finally, allow yourself balance. Living in eternal deprivation is a recipe for relapse. Plan space in your budget for conscious pleasures, without guilt. When they know they can afford something without compromising their goals, the cycle of debt loses all power of seduction. This is the period, and at the same time the beginning of a new life. Because discipline is not a prison, it's sustained freedom. They are not just free from debts, they are in control to never go back to them. They started this journey burdened by the weight of interest, feeling like they would never have enough breath to get off the debt treadmill. But step by step, they discovered that it's not just about mathematics but strategy, discipline, and conscious choices. They learned to freeze the card, face the numbers head-on, choose the right method, make room in the budget, and even increase their income to gain speed. They understood that negotiating is power, that budgeting is freedom, and that an emergency fund is their shield against relapses. More than that, they changed their mindset. They stopped seeing the card as the solution and started seeing control as their strongest weapon. They realized that motivation is maintained with visible victories and that the true reward is not buying more, but buying their own financial freedom. And the best part, the discipline that brought them here does not end with the last installment. It turns into an engine to build wealth, set long-term goals, and ensure they never go back to square one. This is not the end of the line. It's the beginning of their life without financial chains. Now, every dollar that goes into their pocket works for them, not against them. They not only defeated the credit card, they defeated the debt cycle. Money made easy helps you save with lightness, peace of mind, and time for life.